multi-level inheritance. Just to make you comfortable, just take down this program.
Over.
Over?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
See now, in this program basically illustrates multi-level inheritance. One class, first class, second class, third class. See, first class is base. The second class will get base plus derived. That means this is derived class, no? So whatever methods are there in derived class, that will be there, and the methods of base class also will come. Then in the third class, you have base plus derived 1 plus derived 2. So whatever methods are there in this class, plus the methods of this class, plus the methods of base class. So all the methods will be available to the derived class. So this is called as multi-level inheritance. Now, see, there are three classes. One is your class animal, then you have a class dog, then you have a class puppy. Now you can see that animal class has got one method. What is the name of the method? Hash style.
Hashtag.
And I'm having one print has tail. I'm having one print command in that has tail method. Simply I'm printing animals have tail. Now I'm defining a class called dog from animal. So you can see this dog is inherited from animal. This diagram. You can see dog is inherited from animal. Now in this dog class, you have one more method called bark. You have a method called bark. And here I'm putting dog's bark. Then I have a class called puppy. Now this is my puppy class. This puppy is derived from dog and dog is derived from animal. So what I'm doing here, good. What I'm doing here, I'm writing puppy run. Puppies run. So that is actually put in which method? Run method. Which means this hash tail method is available in animal class. Bark method is available in dog class and run method is available in puppy class. Which means this hash tail will also get bark. You agree? What I am doing? I am creating an object called Bruno. Bruno is the name of the which class? Puppy class. So this is your Bruno object. B-R-U. And so now using this Bruno, I can call all the three methods, hash, run. So what will be the output? It will display the output. Animals have tail, dogs bark, puppies do run. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Haritra and Gopal, all of you understood this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. One of you, can you explain? Haritra, can you explain me for everybody?
Sir, first class animal is class. After that, hash tail. This one function.
What is hash tail? Method.
Method.
So method or function.
After that,
both are same. You can call method or you can call function. Both are same.
function. In that print command is there. Animal have tail. After that, again class of animal. Again one class. That is animal dog class. After that,
The dog inherited from where?
Animal. Inherited from animal.
Good. Dog is in. Yeah. Very good.
After that, again print command, dog's bark.
Yes.
After that, again one class, puppy class, that is inherited by dog class.
Yes.
In that print command is there, puppies do run.
Yes.
And after that, one object is there, Bruno. Bruno object.
Of which class?
That is puppy class.
Very good.
Following puppy class.
Yes.
In that puppy class, all classes there, dog class and animal class.
Yes. All methods are there. All methods of.
All methods is.
So using the Bruno object, I can access the method of animal class, the method of dog class, and its own method. That is run method.
Yes, sir.
So this is an example of multi-level inheritance. Okay?
Okay, sir.
So now you should understand, whenever a problem is given to you, where can I make use of multi-level inheritance? So this is very important. In Xampp also, there are so many instances where you make use of multi-level inheritance in HR, in your assembly section, or it could be in accounts where they pay salaries, in all these departments, you can make use of multi-level inheritance. Now the concept is clear to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Now only thing is you should be able to analyze and see where you can implement this multi-level inheritance. Okay. Now having understood this, now we'll go to next type of inheritance, which is called as multiple inheritance. Can you just take down that picture?
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Over?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See now the name itself says multiple. Multiple means many. Now here you have got two base classes. This is one base class, this is another base class, and this is one derived class. So that means this derived class is being derived from two base classes. This one class and this one class. So this is called as multiple inheritance. Understood? Okay. We will take one example and see now. You will understand. See, you have a class called base 1. You have a class called base 2. Then you have a class called derived, which is derived from base 1 and base 2.
Best.
So putting two classes here. Okay. So now this is your base 1 class. I'll call it as base 1. This is base 1 class. This is your base 2 class. So this and this is complete. Class base 1, class base 2. Now I'm telling class derived, which is derived from base 1 and base 2. So I have one more class called derived. This derived is derived from base 1 and base 2. Till here it is clear?
Yes, sir.
All of you? Okay, good. Now you observe the methods. In base 1 class, I have one constructor. In base 2 class, I have one constructor. In base 3 class also I have a constructor. Can you see that? So
Yes.
there is one init function. I'll just write it as I. I stands for init function. There is one init function in base 1 class. There is one init function in base 2 class. And there is one init function in base 3 class. Which means since this derived class is derived from base 1 and base 2, we know that this init function also will be available here, and this init function will also be available here. So there will be three init functions in derived class. One init function from base 1, one init function from base 2, and one more init function of the derived class only. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you are creating an object of the derived class. Now, this using the statement obj is equal to derived. What are you trying to do? You are creating the object of the derived class. The name of the object is obj. So this obj is now the object of the derived class. So we know that whenever an object is created, a constructor is called. Now there are three constructors here. This constructor was from base 1, this constructor was from base 2, and this constructor was the derived class constructor only. Now we know that whenever an object is created, a constructor is called. Yesterday I taught you one concept called overriding.
Yes.
Do you remember that? So what is that overriding? Overriding means when there's a constructor in the derived class, the derived class constructor only will be called. That means this constructor will be called. Which constructor? DEF in init, then base 1 underscore base 1 dot init self. So this constructor will be called, correct? This constructor is what? This constructor is the constructor of the derived class. So these two constructors won't be called. Now within that constructor, what I am doing, I am calling the base class constructor. Base 1 underscore init self, base 2 underscore init underscore self, which means that these two constructors will be called, that is this constructor and this constructor will be called from the derived class constructor. Are you getting this? Or you want to explain in word?
Sir, one more time.
One more.
One more
Okay, wait. I'll just copy this word. 1 second, I'll copy. Let me put it in Word so that it will be easy for you. Okay. Now, what and all you have, we will just put it down in diagrammatically. You will understand. This is one class. This is another class. And this is another class. Now, in base 1, you have this init method. Here also you have init method. Here also you have init method. Here it is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no problem. So these two are derived from here. So shapes. This is derived from here, and this is derived from here. So this is your base 1. This is base 1. This is base 2, and this is derived. Totally here it is clear. Now there are there is one more function in the derived class. What is that function called? Print strs. One more function is there in the derived class. Now what you are doing, you are creating an object of the derived class. So let me make that object here. This is the object of the derived class, and the name of the object is obj. The name of the object is obj. This object belongs to which class? Derived class. Now you know that when an object is created, what is called?
Constructor.
Constructor is called. So we know that since it is derived, this constructor, and this constructor, all three constructors will be in derived class. So I'll write that one also. So this constructor will be available. This is your, I will write base class constructor, base class 1 constructor, BC1C. BC1C means base class 1 constructor. Then this one is base class 2 constructor, and this one is derived class constructor. Now this derived class will have base class 1 constructor, base class 2 constructor, derived class constructor, and print strs method. Is this clear?
Yes.
All of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when an object is created, we know that constructor is called. It will not call this constructor. It will not call this constructor. It will only call this constructor because this is a derived class object. So naturally, derived class constructor will be called. So which constructor will be called? This constructor will be called. Understood?
Yes, sir.
All of you understood this? Why a derived class constructor will be called? Because object is of the derived class. Object is, you are creating derived class object now. Obj is equal to derived. So when object is created, constructor is called. Which constructor will be called? Derived class constructor will be called.
Yes, sir.
Now what is happening in the derived class constructor? You see, inside the derived class constructor, I am calling the base class constructor. So what I am doing? Inside the derived class constructor, I am putting base1 dot init self, base2 dot init self. So this constructor is in turn calling these two constructors. Understanding? And I'm passing this object self. So what happens? This constructor will be called and this constructor will be called. You understood? So what is the name of the object? The name of the object is obj. Name of the object is obj. So this becomes def underscore underscore init underscore underscore obj base1 dot underscore underscore init underscore underscore obj. So where it will go? It will go to this obj. Here it will come. So what happens is here obj.str1 is equal to geek1. What is it? obj.str1 is equal to geek1. What does it mean? For this obj object, there is one variable called str. So it will create one variable called str. And the value of that str variable is equal to geek1. Understood? And what I am doing here, I am printing print I am from base. So in that constructor, I am printing the value. So what will be the output? In the output, it will print I am from base. So this is the first output. Then what I am doing, base2 dot underscore underscore init underscore underscore self. Now I am calling the base2 constructor. Again, I am calling this object obj. So it will come to this. Here what I am doing, self.str2 is equal to geek2, which means that for the same object, the value of str2 is equal to geek2 for the same object. And what is the print command in the constructor? It is printing I am from derived. So it will print I am from derived. Now you can see, first this constructor will be called, derived class constructor will be called. In the derived class constructor, I am calling two base classes constructor. Then after that, I am doing obj.print strs, which means using the derived class object, I am calling this method. So what I am printing in this method, self.str1, comma self.str2. So now here, what is the value of self? The value of self is obj. So this becomes def print strs obj, print obj.str1, comma obj.str2. So what is obj.str1? Geek. What is obj.str2? Geek2. So it will print geek1 and geek2. So what it will print? It will print geek1 and geek2. Understood? You know, see what is the output I'm getting. We have got the output. It says I am from base, I am from derived. It will print geek1 and geek2. So what is that you have understood in this program is you have basically performed multiple inheritance. So what is multiple inheritance? You had one class called base1, you had another class called base2, then you had a class called derived. Now this derived class is getting properties from base1 class and base2 class. So base1 class has got a constructor, base2 class has a constructor, derived class has a constructor. You are creating an object of the derived class. So when you know in object-oriented programming that when an object is created, a constructor is called. So since the object is of the derived class only, so derived class constructor only will be called. Base class constructors won't be called. But inside the derived class constructor, what I am doing, I am wantonly calling the base class constructor. So what I am doing, I am calling the base class constructor of base class 1 and base class constructor of base class 2. So in base class constructor 1, I am initializing the value of str1 to geek1 and str2 to geek2 of the object obj, and I am printing that in the print strs method from the derived class object, and the method is in the derived class. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
See, this is now where do we use this? Where do we use multiple inheritance? Can you just think of an example? Okay, I will give you an example now. See, we will call the first class, 1 second. We will call this first class as accounts. And we will call this second class as your department. And we will call this third class as HR. As okay. Now what I am doing is, see in the, now I want to calculate the salary of an employee. What I want to do, I want to calculate the salary of an employee. So now this object what I am creating, this object I'll give a name. Okay. Now Aisha's salary I want to calculate. So I am putting Aisha as an object of the HR class. I will remove all this so that you will not get confused. I will remove this. Okay. Now Aisha is an object of which class? HR class. So in HR class, there is one method called compute salary. One method is there, which will basically calculate the salary of an employee. So we'll call this method as compute salary. Now, in account class, there is a method called basic EA and HRA. And in the department class, there is define loss of pay. Is this clear? Now, if I want to calculate this HR, if I want to calculate the compute salary, this HR class will have to inherit these three methods, because I need to know the basic salary, I need to know the DA, I need to know the HRA. These three things I need to know. And from department, I need to know how many days you did not come, how many times you were absent. So these three methods will come from the accounts. This method will come from the department. All the three methods will be inherited to HR. Now, using Aisha, what I will do is I'll say Aisha.basic, Aisha.da, Aisha.hra, Aisha.lop, and Aisha.compute salary. So I'll get the salary for that particular object. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So which means now each and every department can become one class. See, now from the department class, I am getting the details of absenteeism. From the accounts class, I am getting the details like how to calculate basic, DA, HRA, etc. And in HR will not have all these details. HR will only have compute salary. So take methods and these three methods inherit into HR. I'll create an object and compute the salary. So this is where I can do multiple inheritance. I can implement multiple inheritance in Python. Understood?
Sir.
Okay. So one more example here you can think. So you are making the result sheet of your college. So in your college, there are two streams, one electronic stream and one computer science stream. So I'll create one electronic class and I'll create one computer science class. In the electronic class, I will put all the methods of electronics. In computer science, I'll put all the methods of computer science. I will create one college class which will inherit from electronic class and computer science class. Then I'll create an object of the college class. I will borrow those methods from both the parent classes and finally I'll compute the result sheet. Understood? So like this, you can think of variety of problems where we can make use of multiple inheritance. In live example, now he is parent 1, he is parent 2, he is child. So child inherit the properties of both father and mother. So you have a child, this child inherits the properties of both father and mother. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is called as multi-level inheritance. Sorry, multiple inheritance. I'm sorry, not multi-level, multiple inheritance.
Multiple inheritance.
So don't think that there can only be two classes. There can be any number of classes. So I can create a multiple inheritance, something like this. So I may have 3 classes or 4 classes. I can have any number of classes. So this is one class. This is another class. You can take this, add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you can basically derive one derived class from multiple parents. So that also is an example of multiple. What is the meaning of multiple? Multiple means more than one. So in this case, you have more than one parent. If you cut off this and cut off this, you have multi-level inheritance. Correct?
Yeah.
This is multi-level inheritance. But now it is multiple inheritance. So multiple means more than one.
Okay.
Understood, no, all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay. Now, having understood that, now you have understood this program. We'll see what is hybrid inheritance later. Now we shall see there is one method called is subclass SUP comma SUP. Now this is a very interesting method. You take down this method. I will tell you what is the use of this particular method and where do we use it. So what is the name of the method? The name of the method is subclass is the name of the method. This method takes 2 arguments. One is called the subclass name and the superclass name. We will see what is the use of this method and how to use it. It says, you can see, method used to check the relationship between the specified classes. So this is very important. Now here I have a multi-level inheritance. Now in this multi-level inheritance, you know that this is a base class. The first one is a base class. The second one is a derived class. Or the first one is a super class. The second one is a subclass. So I want to check whether this is a subclass or whether it is a superclass in programming. For that, we make use of this particular method. Okay. So you take down this program, then you will understand this. What is the meaning of this method? You take down this entire program, the old program only you take, but what you have to do is you have to just add these 3 lines. That's all. At the end, just add these 3 lines at the end. Once I explain this, you'll be able to understand what is this is subclass method. The same program you take down and add those 3 lines. Over? Yeah. Okay. So just take down this one also. Just take down the syntax. Is subclass is accepting how many arguments? 2 arguments. The first argument is sub, that is the name of the subclass, and the second argument is sup, that is the name of the superclass. And the name of the method is subclass. It's not that difficult, it is very easy. So each subclass is taking 2 arguments. One argument is sup, that is the name of the subclass. Another argument is sup, that is the name of the superclass. Now you see this program. See now this much program you have understood. I don't think so I have to explain this. This is a multi-level program, multi-level inheritance program. It's already done. Now what I am doing, I am telling print is subclass dog, comma, animal. Very, very important. Now I told you that each subclass will have 2 arguments. One is subclass name and the second one is superclass name. Now here the subclass name is dog and superclass name is animal. So I am checking, is dog a subclass of animal? Is dog a subclass of animal? True or false? Is this dog true? So that's giving the output as true. Aisha, are you getting it?
One more time.
Okay. See, now there are 3 classes now. So what are the 3 classes? Can you tell me now?
Animal, dog, and puppy.
Very good. One is animal. The second one is dog. Third one is puppy. Okay.
Puppy.
Now you watch the statement. Print is subclass dog, comma, animal. I am checking, is this particular dog a subclass of animal? Is dog a subclass of animal?
Yes, sir.
Is this a subclass of animal or not? A is a superclass. Animal is a superclass. Dog is a subclass. So is dog a subclass of animal? Yes, sir. So output. So it is giving the output as true.
Okay.
Understanding?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then each subclass puppy, comma, dog. So I am checking, is puppy a subclass of dog?
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Output is true. Is subclass animal, comma, dog? Is animal a subclass of dog?
No.
No.
So it is giving the output as understood?
Yes,
So
sir.
what is the subclass method? Is subclass. You will see, for example, where do we use the word is in English? I'll ask you, is it raining? You will say yes or no. I will say, is the sun has come out? You will say yes or no. Correct? No. So whenever I put is, I am checking, that's all. And the output will be either yes, no, or true or false. Now here I am checking subclass dog comma animal. So here I am checking whether dog is a subclass of animal. In the second print command I am checking is puppy a subclass of dog. In the third print command I am checking if is animal a subclass of dog. So it will check and let me know whether it is true or false.
Okay.
Understood, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this basically we use it for testing. I sometimes what happens, no, you will have written in this program you have only 3 classes: animal, dog, puppy. But when you are doing real life project in data science, there will be more than 3 classes. Sometimes there will be 30 classes, 40 classes, 80 classes. So I will not know whether one class is a subclass of another class. So instead of going through the entire program one by one, analyzing it, I will simply put this is subclass name and the superclass name. So it will tell me true or false. So based upon that, I find out that whether it is following the multi-level inheritance or not. Understood? So basically, that is the usage of this, because if you are having 1 or 2 classes, no problem. But can you have only 3 classes in a program? There will be multiple number of classes. You just cannot imagine how many classes will be there. That many classes will be there. So somewhere down the line, I want to check. So in that context, I will make use of this multi-level inheritance. In that, I will make use of is subclass. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, okay, enough for today. We will do polymorphism in the next class. So I want to quickly revise everything once from the beginning. So we saw what is object-oriented programming. Okay, we saw the difference between classes and an object. I told you what are entities, what are attributes, what are the different types of attributes. You have a composite attributes which can be broken down into atomic attributes. Yeah, very good. Then you had stored attributes, derived attributes. Then you had multi-value attributes. Key attributes, very good. Key attributes, very good. I forgot that. Then you identified the relationship between 2 entities. You identified 1:1 relationship, 1:n relationship. Okay. Correct. Then I told you that in object-oriented programming, there will be classes and objects. Each class will have 2 sections. One section is called as a properties and the another section and method section. So binding of this property and method inside a class is called as dash. What is it called?
Encapsulation.
Very good. It is called as encapsulation. Then we saw the properties of object-oriented programming. The first one was encapsulation. Then we saw what is inheritance. Then we saw inheritance. Then we saw what is abstraction, but I have not taught you abstraction. I have simply told that there is something called as abstraction. I have told you that I will teach you abstraction later, correct? Okay, I have not taught you abstraction. Okay, then you learned what is polymorphism. I have only given you the definition of polymorphism, but I have not taught you the programs on polymorphism. So from the next class, I'll teach you the programs on polymorphism.